Hi, Dottie. Can you hear me? Wonderful. I am working on a hat, and I will probably mute on and off because it might get loud with me pounding holes in leather. Hi, Douglas. Yeah, I finally got it where I have enough so that I can go live. I was excited about that. I'm going to pound some holes, and you can tell me if it's really loud, because if it's too loud, I can mute while I'm pounding holes or figure something out. Is that loud? Yeah, I use patterns for all my stuff, and I have some of the pieces already cut out. This is the same hat that I made for Scott, but in a different leather. And this one, I'm going to see if it'll pick up the color of it. It's a nice dark green. That was picked out for this hat. And so I'm cutting out all the wonderful pieces. And then right after that, I will start sewing it. I have this piece to put holes in and cut out. And then I have this piece, which is the brim, that I have to cut out. And it gets boring down here all by myself and no one to talk to. I have 3 people watching now. Oh, wait, I'm one of those people. I just realized that because I'm watching it on YouTube because I'm using my phone to record it. And I have one of those phones that folds open. And so my phone is kind of in an L shape, and it makes it very hard to read any messages on there. So I'm just reading all the messages on YouTube, which also allows me to watch and hear for the delay, because there is a delay in when I say things and when I do things and when you actually see them on YouTube. And I'm using, it's 6 millimeters from center point to center point. And each one of these makes a hole that's 1 millimeter in diameter. And right now I'm using the one with 5 prongs so that I can align my holes. I put it in the last hole that I did and go out so that way it keeps the holes pretty aligned. When I get to 2 curvy pieces where I can't keep them in alignment anymore, then I have to go to using the single punch. It just helps me keep my holes in a better alignment so that I can stitch better, make for a better product when I get done. And 99% of the stuff I do with patterns, just because I burned out of pattern making when I was making my own clothes all the time. And one day, when I redo my area, I will give a tour of the leather working area. And everybody can see my bright and shining face. Which I don't think sitting around in my pajamas with my hair tied up in a knot is the time to show that. Dottie, I work on computers. I'm a programmer, and so I write code all the time with fingernails. I've had long nails over 30 years now. And see, this is why it gets boring, because it's like, how exciting is this? And it's hard to watch anything on the TV when you're or watch a movie or anything, because you're distracted. So that puts all the holes in there, and I don't think it's going to show that the holes go all the way through. And this was such an impromptu live. I literally went to my Facebook and said, hey, you guys subscribe. I'm 5 people short of being able to go live. And these are all the little pieces that come out where I punch the holes. Wind up with a lot of these little leather pieces. If you've had long nails for a while, it's hard for me to type without them, because I type on them. When I type with my fingernails. So it gets hard to not have them, because my fingertips I'm not used to feeling the keyboard on my fingertips. Single hole takes longer to line up. Hi, Flutter. Welcome to Tori's Unscheduled Last Minute Live, making a flat cap. And I showed the leather earlier. Oh, here's a piece. It's this nice dark green color. It's the same style that Scott's is in. The hat itself is the same style, just in a different leather. Dottie, 99% of the time I am stitching leather by hand. I have a leather machine. It sits, let me see, over there. From where I am, it's kind of to the right of me and behind me. And I can sew on there. And actually my next commission that I'm going to be making after this one, I will sew on there, because it's just the type of pattern that it is. Works really well on a sewing machine. But most things I do by hand. I work with computers for a living. So everything is technology, technology, technology. And this is my removal of technology of any kind from what I do. And I find it, while this part of it is tedious and boring, I find it relaxing for me to be able to just remove technology from the list of things that I'm doing, even though I do sit down here with YouTube going most of the time, or a movie. All my little leather scraps. My phone decided I didn't need to see what is going on. So I have to judge where you can see, because you can't see the whole table that I'm working with. Oh yeah, it does kind of look like I'm going to hit you in the head, doesn't it? Oh, thank you. It's a purple color. I wear a lot of purple, as you can imagine. A lot of my purple came from, I've loved purple my entire life. And then my grandson also likes purple. And when he was a lot younger, he would go to the nail salon with me and he would pick out my polish. And because he knew I loved purple and he thought purple was a cool color, he would always pick me out a purple nail polish. And when I wear different colors, it feels weird. And it's the same way that I wound up with purple hair when I started working from home. And I have a lot of gray hair. And I was talking about I could dye my hair any color with me working from home because no one sees me. And he looked at me with his little innocent face and is like, Mimi, you could rock the purple. And so here I am with the purple. And I'm trying to see if I can make this thing turn the light on. I don't see that as an option. Okay. It allowed me to reconnect it. And I sit there and I type it in there instead of just saying it, because I kind of forgot that you can actually hear my voice. And I'm guessing you guys can hear me okay. I use guys generically. Sorry, I know two gals in here. Oh, there's someone else in here. Oh, good. So I see Dottie, I see Flutter, and I don't see who else is in here. Oh, wait, I can do this. It only shows me two people in here. Someone else is in here, but that's good. Or someone else is. Yep. Okay. I'm good. Let me just get back to this. I was trying to make it turn a light on for me. Let me see. If I can make this give me light. That'll work. I've got a desk light that's sitting at Robbie's house that I have to get, which will help with this. What I got it for. I got the light from him so that I could use it while streaming. And I am going to move that light and put it on the other side because my hand keeps making it where I can't see what I'm doing. Come on. Behave. That's better. I don't think this will. I want to get it done so I get this part done so I can start stitching. Because stitching is much more fun than pounding holes. That's when everything starts coming together. Flutter, I used to say dude all the time. Oh, hi, Carolyn. I used to say dude all the time when I was in California because I was born in California. I am a hippie child. I was born in California in the mid 60s, right in the middle of the protesting and everything. Mom said she used to drive through the protesters to get to the doctor's office. Make that a little sharper. Get my vape out of the way. In the table under here, you can see it. I put tape over it so that it stays clean. I start it fresh, sometimes 2 or 3 times within a project to make sure that things stay clean in the project. It's nothing more than a industrial size melamine cutting board. My vape just keeps getting in the way. Yeah, I guess you can see the line on here. I just realized that the line looks kind of faint for me. And I was like, I'm not freehanding this, I promise. No, I don't have a Georgia accent. I grew up a lot of my life in Mississippi, and I used to have a very southern sound to my voice. And when I was in college, I started working on how I enunciated my words because of what I was going into for a living. And it was going to be hard enough going into a male dominant industry as a female. So that was going to be hard. The last thing I needed was for them to think I was not an intelligent being because I had that stereotypical Southern twang that so many associate with ignorance. So I worked very hard at getting rid of my Southern accent. Something on here did not let go. There it goes. I got tape on it underneath. I'll have to clean that up. His last thing I needed to do was to be going into a programming industry and having guys think I was some kind of stupid girl. And I use girl lightly in that because I did not enter my industry as a girl. I was a full-grown woman, but you know how it can be sometimes. It is a lot easier for the females going into the industry now than what it was then. I mean, I was in college and I had a professor look at me and go, girl, you know you're trying to walk into a man's world, right? And I told him I was going to take it by force. And he goes, so you think you can pass my class? And I told him, oh yeah. I'm not just going to pass your class, I'm going to ace your class. And so I did. But that was the time. You know, I've been doing what I do for over 30 years. So, you know, I studied hard to get through that class. I did every assignment he gave and put in a lot of time to make sure it was 100%. And I did every extra credit he gave us so that I made sure that when I walked in to take the final, I did not have to have a high grade to actually still make an A in his class. And so I walked in, I took the final, and I aced his class. And he told me with my attitude, I was going to go far. So I've been doing what I do for 30 years now. Pays the bills and supports the family. That's what I need it to do. Flutter, I have ADHD, and I learned a long time ago how to study so that I could remember things. Any reading assignment I had, I didn't just read it. I had to read it out loud. Hi, Monica. Welcome, welcome. I'm just here working on leather. And so I had to read everything out loud growing up in order to maintain it so that I could get my ears, my mouth, my brain, my eyes, just get every piece of me thinking about the words I was saying. So that my brain would actually absorb the information. My mother one time came in came into my room and she wanted to know who I was talking to. She thought I had snuck the phone in and she couldn't figure out, or I had someone at my window because she couldn't find the phone cord. And so she was trying to figure out who I was talking to, and she walked in, stormed into my room, and realized I wasn't talking to anyone. Yeah, that's all my little leather pieces. It looks like a mouse problem. We actually refer to it as leather poop. So yeah, that's how I made it through school. I did a lot of reading out loud. I would talk to myself while I did my homework. Just so that I could get through. And I know it's late at night. You should get a fake mouse. Oh, that is so fun. Oh, I got to talk to Lisa. She can make me a mouse. I have to turn off my heater. Give me a minute. The heat down in the basement doesn't work right. So I use a little heater down here. Just to keep the cold out. Yeah. And there's a delay in you seeing things, and then there's a delay in me reading messages because I can't read messages and do that. Okay. Oh, I think it would be funny, especially if there was a little hole in his back that I could dump all those these leather pieces into. Because I actually have something I made that I usually throw them in. I sweep them up and I put them in there. Or I probably could find a pattern for a leather mouse. Make myself a little leather mouse to put my little leather poop in. Hi, CPR. Just stopping in to say hi. Well, hi. I understand that because it is late. Because Tori is working late at night to get this commission done. I want to try to get it finished by tomorrow night. And the only way to do that is to work on it. So I was watching Rosie and I was working on it. And I'd gotten everything laid out and got 3 of the pieces with hole punches and getting them cut out. Okay, this is getting too much. And I have to clean up as I go when I'm working on this stuff. One day I'll get it all rearranged in here and I'll be able to use my big table. But I have to get all these commissions out before that. And I keep stopping talking because I forget that I'm not talking to myself. I really am not. It's like I'm waiting for someone to come down and go, "Who are you talking to?" If you do hear someone come down and they yell me, you know they're talking to me. Oh, there is 6 here. I missed somebody. Who else came in? Well, hello, whoever you are watching. But now that I can go live, as long as I have enough people, I will start doing lives more often, working on things like this if people are interested in it. Because it kind of works for me. But I'm always the kind that's going, oh, no, no, no. Nobody wants to watch me work on leather pieces. You know, no one wants to watch me doing this. There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself, Phil. Actually, when I'm figuring out how I'm going to attack a problem with the project, there's sometimes I do talk to myself because I have ADHD and it makes it real. It makes it easier for me to get through it and figure it out. Almost finished with this one. I don't know where my good pokey tool is. There it goes. And I'm really not throwing stuff in the floor over here. Oh, you can't even see that. I keep putting my hand over to the left of me, and it looks like I'm throwing stuff in my floor, and I'm not. There's a garbage. That's where the trash is. And the downfall of using a paper pattern is you wind up with paper in the holes. So I have a toothbrush down here that's used for getting all the little paper pieces out. I get the major pieces out that I know would show. And when I'm stitching, if I come across a piece, I'll get it out if it's going to show. Obviously, if it's not going to show and it's going to be trapped in the stitches, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to get a new toothbrush pretty soon. This one's getting kind of wore out. My poor table. It's almost time for me to put heat to it again. Because I use the hole punches on it, it does actually mar the table underneath all the tape. And so I'll strip all the tape off of it, and then I put wax paper over it, and I iron it, and it melts it and puts it all back to a more solid surface to work with. And then I retape it to start another project. And that way, if I work on a dyed project that's purple and my next project is white, I can strip all the tape off that has any purple residue on it and put down fresh tape so that I'm working with a clean surface. Kind of like putting down a drop cloth. I'm going to stop for a second and read messages. Well, there's 8 people watching, Monica, and I do not see 8 people chatting, so you're not the only lurker. This is true. We have watched Resin dry, haven't we? No, we won't watch just anything. There is a limit to what I will watch and what I will not watch. Supporting our people, absolutely, I'd watch most things. I will watch you cook things that I don't even eat if that's what you need for support. But I'm the one that puts Robbie's channel on at night and lets it run all night. Yes, Dottie. I mean, Monica, they're taking your job as lurkers. But the thing is we don't know who they are because they're lurking. They don't even announce themselves as a quality lurker like you do. At least you're the quality lurker that says, hey, I'm here and I'm lurking. You know what? I was surprised to get anyone on at this time of night. Especially for my first time doing this, and I actually now have 51 subscribers. Woohoo! It's the little things. You got to start somewhere, right? But I'm not in it for the money. This isn't like a money-making business for me. Well, the leatherworking is, not the YouTubing. If eventually my YouTubing gets to the point that, or gets where I have enough subscribers and I think I can make money off of it, that's great. That just means I'll have more money to spend and give to Robbie. Because that's pretty much where a lot of my fun money goes anyway. Okay, Robbie gets all my fun money. Yes, Lisa Lee, Tori is live. And if I knew how to send someone the link to join me, I would. And then someone else could read the chat for me. Excuse my cough. I was sick for 3 weeks with some congestion, and it's at that annoying point at the end where it's breaking up. Whatever this ick is that's going around this year, if you hear people coughing and they go, oh, it's my allergies, it's my allergies, oh, it's just congestion, run and stay away from them because this stuff is vicious. And yes, Lisa, I'm making a hat similar to, well, the exact same style as Scott's. And I wish my phone would quit turning off, but it's in this color. Let me see if I add more light to it. No, that light doesn't help. But it's in this nice green, dark green color. Lisa's not mean. Well, I'm on my phone. Let me see. I see it. I can click guest. If I kill this, I'll be back. Guest. Invite guest. Copy the link. Go that way. I'm not hitting back on this anymore because last time I swiped left to do back. I ended the live early. Haha. Anyone want to come on and read chat for me? Okay, that piece is pretty good. Monica, I actually thought about setting it up where I could send people a roll of tape, a pattern, and the leather needed to make something small, and send it out to people. But then I realized that people would need things to make holes with as well. So I had to figure out how I would do that so that I could do like an online tutorial for making things with people. And basically have classes of this is how we hand stitch stuff. Maybe I'll put the pattern down and put the holes in it first and do that as my first ones. And how will I know if someone wants to join the chat? Will it tell me? And this is just basic paraffin wax, candle wax. And I put it over where I'm putting the holes. It's a little trick I've learned. Because what happens is when I use my hole punch, it causes these to feed through the hole punches better. Yep. Now it's going to look like I'm hitting you in the head, and I'm really not. Ooh, this is thick. And I'm feeling it on the back side to feel and see if I can see where the holes are being made, because I can feel the tips of this through the leather. Okay, Lisa. I understand you got to take care of that man. I actually like Gabe. I think he's a cool dude. So, yep, take care of the Gabe. Okay, that is it. Like, so I can get 5, 4, and 2. I try to do things exactly the same way on the left and right. So it's either consistently right or it's consistently wrong. I have holes all the way through. Yes, Monica, I'm sure I did not whack you in the head. And I will be probably coming back on live tomorrow while I finish this up. Because I would like to finish this up so I can box it up, tell the guy how much shipping charge is, and make him send me the rest of my money. because I will work on a commission after someone has paid me half of the money. I require half up front because that covers me buying leather and stuff. I have to buy the supplies necessary to make whatever it is I'm making. And then after that, I will start working on anything that I know I can sell. If it has a name on it, I'm not doing any part of it with the name on it until the whole amount is paid. But the likelihood of me finding someone with this size head that would want a hat in this style is pretty good. So I know that I can get my money out of it if the guy backed out of the paying the last of it. And then I would be the snotty one that sells it for half price of what and sell it for what's owed on it. So that someone gets a really good deal. But I have never had anyone, since I started this platform of how I'm doing it, I've not had anyone back out of it. I have had someone ask me to make them something, and I made it, and then they never got it from me. So that means it's still sitting here. And I'm getting ready to tell them I'm putting it up for sale. Because every time I mention it, they tell me they're going to get it from me. But they don't. And that's the reason why I went to the half up front, which is non-refundable unless I fail to produce the goods. You know, it's like a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, Lisa, did you make my thing? Lisa, did you make my thing?" Because we see this on Lisa's all the time, and she's like, "You haven't paid for it. When you pay for it, I'll make it." And it's the same thing. Is if we are making things before we're being paid for them, we're losing money if they back out. And when you get to where it's a custom item, it makes it a little more difficult. Because you have something that's totally custom that you can't necessarily resell. Ouch. I hit my finger on that one. But I am one of the few leather workers that'll let you make payments. Because people are on budgets, and I understand that. And I've had one person take me up on that. They were sending me like $25 at a time. And when we made the halfway mark, I started buying the stuff and started making their hat. And they continued to pay me $25 every time they got paid. And when they paid it off, I sent it to them. So let me see. Yeah, you can see the holes all the way through. I just saw one that wasn't. Oh, it is all the way through. It's just the way it's laid out. But I can usually just hold them up and know that that all the holes are there. This one's going to be a little bit more of a pain. And I don't know that I have any extra. Oh, I do have extra blades. Oh, I have to remember not to put my hand in front of the camera like that. My phone keeps going black because I guess it doesn't like that I'm taking a break and not touching it constantly. I can see the wear on this edge. I don't think you could actually see it, but I can tell that this edge is worn down. My blade goes down at an angle when it gets down here. I'm going to check this other side first and see if it's good. Let me do a test. Oh, okay. So I didn't need the other blade. Put that back. Hi, Stacy. Oh, if I can make leather pants, I do not like making clothes. I have made clothes. I don't like it because they're more difficult for fitting. I used to make my own clothes all the time. And that was a problem. Oh, I've got to figure something out here. I am going to have to set some people as mods on here because we know there's some trolls out there. Sorry, I'm cleaning up a little bit here. Got to clean up all the little leather pieces that got expelled from my cutters or hole punches as I was going along. And yes, we do produce a lot of leather, a lot of stuff. This is all the stuff that gets expelled from when I'm making stuff. Either, I'm using it. I made a custom box that, and it has some of my hair in it, but this is all the little scraps that get swiped off my desk. Lots of leather poop. Okay, this is my drink mix drink. Is there anyone that absolutely hates being mods? Lisa's going to be a mod because she kicks butt. I can send Crayola a bag of leather poop if he wants it. I will be more than happy. Yes, Lisa, you're the warrior, so therefore I know I'm protected. It's not someone being here every time because it's like I don't do sales, so I don't need someone dedicated here every time I go live. But it's just nice to know I have that little back over here, when I do go live if someone's here. Oh, Monica, she hasn't blocked you from her own channel. She's not going to block you from mine. Oh, you want me to bring you bags of leather poop? Okay. Okay, so let's cut out this brim so that I can get working on the other parts of it. The thicker the leather, the more difficult it is to cut through it without messing it up. Takes more patience. And keeping things perpendicular as possible. I think I might move my camera to the other side of the table next time so that it's filming from this way instead of from my side. That way it doesn't look like I'm smacking you in the face every time I'm pounding holes, because I think that's what it looks like. When I realized when I looked up, I saw it and it was like, oh wow, it looks like I'm trying to smack people in the face. Okay, now I gotta go scrap. I gotta go scrounge up. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove my hair from it because Lisa doesn't need my DNA. And I'm gonna bag up leather poop and take it to Lisa. They actually have someone that used that leather and put it in resin. It was like they put a layer of resin down and then they sprinkled some and put a thin layer and then they sprinkled some and they just layered it like that and used it as a desk weight. And I'm like, that's a lot of work. I don't know that I have the patience. See, I told you it was thick. That's the thickness of that brim. Because while the leather for the hat is kind of floppy, you don't want the brim to be floppy. You want it to stand out for the hat. It sounds like it's going to start raining here. I hear thunder outside. Yeah. I don't want this. I don't want the pattern to shift and then me going cutting through the holes. I have done that on a hat before and had to remake the piece. Flutter, I'm going to hope that your parents are just taking it easy getting home. And I'll probably use this because it has that green on the back. I'll probably use this to make a key fob and maybe double it or something. Yeah, I could make one of the ones that's like a circle and then it comes down and then a circle again. And when you fold it in half, it's like a circle keychain with a leather piece. It would be somewhat like when I finished it, it would be a circle with a leather piece like this. And then you would put the ring in it for the keys to go off of. And then I could hand stitch it all around here. Yep, that's what I'll do, is I'll make him a little keychain with it. And that's what I do with my scraps. I hate throwing away perfectly good pieces of leather. That's why I have a little container with all the little leather poop pieces and such in it, because I hate throwing away perfectly good leather. Okay, just catching up on chat. Okay. And I don't think I have this color. You guys chat for just a second. Let me check something in my threads. If all else fails, it'll be black thread. Okay, I'm back. Now I can look at some thread options. I think that one looks good. I can see the wax on it. The thread is waxed, and I brush it after I get finished with it. Yeah, I think that one looks good. Make sure I have enough of that color. I have 4 little spools of this color. Let me see what it looks like when I stitch it. I've misplaced my hammer. Oh, there it is. My favorite needles. Claudia, you can fuss at them from us too. Tell them they had us worried sick. Some say they sat up with me all night because I was worried sick, and you had them worried sick too. Because we're nice like that. I can't imagine turning my phone off when I'm going on a road trip. My daughter would just go crazy. That would be like totally unacceptable. The back of this still has the tape on it, but I'm not worried about it because this is just a scrap. And I'm just testing my thread to see if I like it. Actually, I'm going to test it with black too and see what I like better. And just tie that off. Carolyn, that's funny. I don't need to do that this time. Yeah, Kimberly's okay. I met Kimberly. She was going to be in the area, so we met for dinner. Kimberly Mills. We met for dinner. So she got to eat family. She got to eat dinner with my family. She didn't eat my family. She got to eat dinner with my family at a restaurant that does really good home cooking or home style cooking. I use a wax thread, so sometimes extra wax builds up and I got to rub it off. So I need opinions. The green or the black thread. See if any more light helps. No one else has an opinion. Move this light up and see if that helps. Green or black? This is the fun part of the creation. And sometimes I intentionally use thread to accent a piece. So if I was using this thread for something for like a Christmas thing, I might throw on a intentionally stitch it with a red thread to give that contrast. But this is a man's hat that he's going to wear all year round, so red is out. But I do have some fun Christmas things I could make for next year. Yes, it is a very dark green leather. And I don't know how to make the green show up more. This is leftovers from when I made the chess set for Marcia's grandson. I keep stuff like that in case I need scraps for something. So, but I have 2 people saying use black thread, so I think I'm going to use black thread. The hardest part is I don't know the man personally. Someone actually contacted me about making this as a gift for this man. So I don't know the person that's receiving it. And I barely know the person that's paying for it. They contacted me through Instagram and said, "Hey, I want you to make a hat like this." Yeah, I'm liking it both ways. I wonder if my phone will let me switch over and take a picture and send it to someone without causing me too much problems. I'm sure you saw that. Send. Green or black. I'm sending a message to my husband. Nope, the guy said make it in this green. This green is the color. That's the only direction I had was make the flat cap with this color green. He actually picked it so it would be the smooth green and not one that has a texture to it. A pebbled. He didn't want the pebbled texture green because I have access to the same leather but in a textured green. But I still need to clean up this piece while I wait for my husband to reply too, because that guy standpoint thing. of what he would wear. I have a feeling it's going to wind up being the black because I'm going to finish the edges of the leather too. And that'll be in black. Because the likelihood of matching this green is slim. Some people also they're like, this is a leather I want to make it with. And I go, what are your thread colors? What thread color do you want? And they're like, you know what? Lay out some thread colors and pick the one you think looks best. Even down to the things that have hardware. It's like, do you want gold hardware, silver hardware? And they go, whatever looks good with the leather when you start putting it together. Which is not fair to me because I have a tendency to lean with silver hardware on almost everything. Or black. This paper piece is out. After I finish these commissions, I'm going to have to do some vacuuming to get all these little bitty paper pieces out of the floor. One day I'll get to rip up the carpet in here. Why they put carpet in a basement is beyond me. But I actually want to rip up all the carpet, put a padding down, and put a regular floor down. It's a flat cap, Stacy, just like the one I made for Scott, just in a different leather. Scott's hat was the first one I made in this style. And because of that, I wound up getting this commission that I'm working on now. Had I not ever posted the picture of Scott's hat after I made it, the guy would have never contacted me. But when I posted that picture, he's like, there it is. He didn't know what the name of the hat was. He just knew that the person he wanted to get it for really likes that style. And he always referred to it as a golfer's hat. And so when I posted it, he sent me a picture of the hat itself and said, this hat, what do you need to know to make it for someone? And how much will you charge me? And what do I do to make it happen? And can I have it before Christmas? You know, the little things, the important things. And so I worked out the details with him. I just forgot to ask about thread color. I should probably pop over to my Instagram and make sure I didn't ask him about thread color. Yeah, sometimes some people refer to them as golf hats. Okay, let's see. Conversation's not that long. Okay, he sent me that. Okay, he actually did tell me what color stitching to use, so I'm just really glad I did not start stitching it together. He actually does want black thread. See, that's what happens when you have ADHD. Oh, Cabby's hat, huh? Oh well, at least I know I have this color thread that does match it for future because I do have a lot more of this leather. The downfall of doing projects like this is one of the places I get my leather, they don't sell it by the square foot. You actually have to buy the entire hide. Yes, black was a good decision. So black it's going to be, and I'll just have to clean up the extra wax. You can see the thread is very waxy. And I actually I have to clean up. Okay, come on. I have to clean up the extra wax off of projects when I use this thread. And the reason why it's waxed is it makes it go through the holes in the leather easier. So black it is. That visor is going to stand up nice. I'm debating if I want, I might have to look at it when I'm making it. I think I'm going to have to put it with the black side down. I'll see. I need to finish edges now. And if I'm not mistaken, I have black paint here. And so that I'm not always having to clean toothbrushes or paintbrushes, I actually use disposable makeup sponges when I'm working on leather. The wax also helps seal up the holes. Because every hole will have at least 2 pieces of thread through it. And then the wax will embed into those holes. What I didn't grab myself is a paper towel. And here I go through a lot of paper towels. Thinking about getting one of my grandkids to get me a hot tea. I drink mint tea at night a lot. Oh, good, I didn't get it all over the edges. The other thing I go through, just like Lisa, is I go through a lot of baby wipes. I use baby wipes down here a lot to clean up my hands as I work along stuff. My daughter uses baby wipes on one of her dogs between his shampoos because if she needs to take him out in public, she obviously wants him to smell good. And with having sensitive skin, she has to be careful because if she bathes him too often, he will get skin issues. So she actually uses the baby wipes to freshen up his coat to make it smell better, which also adds a little moisturizer into his skin, which stops him from getting the dry skin and issues with that. I am actually using a paint. It's leather paint. I will show you in just a minute. I was worried about using dye because of the green, because sometimes when you use dye on it, it will leach into it, and I don't want that to happen. But for leather, the only thing I use is it's an acrylic, but it's Angelus is the brand, and it is specifically for leather. And one of the things that I like about it is even after it's dry, it remains flexible, which is kind of important. And after I use it, I do a little burnishing with it as well over it to make sure that it is set. I don't use a lot. I use minimal amount necessary to cover the surface. And then I burnish it in so that just looks like that's the way it is. You can't see that it's heavily coated or anything. I know people that will slick the edges until they look like a piece of glass. And I can if I really want to, but for most of the stuff I make, it would make the edges look out of place. And if it's something that you're going to be using and it's going to have wear and tear on it, if these edges are finished so high finish that they shine like a piece of glass, then you get a little scuff on it and it looks terrible. So I just try to finish it up a little bit. Puts a little bit of a shine to it. You know, it's like, I don't know if you can tell the difference in it. I can, where I burnished it and where I didn't. I can see the difference. I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. But it basically makes it where you can't even tell that it's painted. It looks like that's just the way the leather is, which is what I want. Let's see the place in this. It's kind of like when you're wearing makeup, there's a difference between stage makeup and makeup that you still want to look natural. I like it to still being natural. So it just looks like the edges of the leather are all black now. So now I only have 4 more pieces to go. So I move everything from one side to the other. So as I work on it, I will move it from this side of my body, from my left side to my right side. And Stacy, I don't mind sharing. I come from a thing of sharing. Knowledge is power, for one, and the attitude of, it's called each one teach one, because that's how knowledge gets shared and people can grow. If each person taught something they know to someone else, then we as a society get better because we're expanding what we know. And I love sharing what I know. And I started doing leather crafting to the level that I do. It was COVID's fault. I did some minor leather crafting for myself before that, nothing major. And then I started doing it more and more after COVID, because during COVID, I guess I should say, not after, because I had nothing to do. I was trapped in a house for months. And months. Okay, we were trapped in our homes for a year, for almost 2 years. And I have ADHD, and so sitting inside the house doing nothing doesn't work for me. So I needed a hobby. And so I just wanted to pick up and do something that I already did somewhat and just enhance upon it. And so that's what I did. And I grew up sewing. I've sewn since I was a little girl. So it wasn't like I had to learn everything overnight, or that I did learn everything overnight. I already knew how to sew. I already knew how to hand stitch and how to work with patterns. Um, and I think that made a difference in me being able to pick this up and work with it, is because I already had those skills. I grew up in a house where mom made a lot of our clothes, and with that, she taught us to make our clothes. And she's like, if you don't like the way I make your clothes or what I make you, then learn how to make it yourself. And so I did. And then I would work odd jobs for people to be able to buy the fabric that I wanted to make the things I wanted. And the reason was twofold. One was it was more cost efficient, and mom was a single mom raising two girls. And the other reason was it's hard for me to find clothes off the rack that just fit, um, especially when I was in school and having to wear dresses and stuff like that. Most of the clothes of the style just didn't fit my body. So you make your own. And having a mother that told me I could do anything on earth that I wanted to do as long as I put my mind to it, and nobody saying that I couldn't, meant that I did just that. And then later on in life, when I would go to do something, someone would go, "Oh, well, you can't do that." And it would be like, well, someone probably should have told me that sooner because I've already done it. I've already done it that way. One second, let me type to the grandkid. Don't need to knock things over. I am proud of the things that I've been able to accomplish. I also am proud that I grew up with the mom I grew up with. Um, a lot of people that we knew felt sorry for us girls because we were being raised by a single mom, and people had bets on how early we would get married because there was no way that two girls being raised by a single parent were going to amount to anything. Um, and they just didn't know my mom, because my mom was there preaching to us about, they can take your house, they can take your car, they can take your bank account, but one of the things they can't take is your brain. Learn all you can learn. Learn to get something that nobody can take away. So she pushed us both to get educated, college educated, because where we lived, if you didn't have a college education, you weren't going to make money. Um, it's kind of where I grew up down in Mississippi, in South Mississippi. You had all the laborer jobs, retail and stuff like that. And then other than that, you had a NASA facility and military facilities. And so there wasn't a lot of in between business to make money. Um, so either you were going to work in one of the retail stores, or you were supposed to work at either the military base or the NASA facility. And none of that sounded good to me. I just wanted to get out of the area. So I decided I was going to get a college education so that I can leave. And so that's basically what I did. And I am a bit of a control freak. So the idea of getting married to make that happen didn't work for me because then I would be dependent on someone else 100%. And that doesn't work well with my quirky personality. So it's kind of like you have to do these things in order to make it through because otherwise I would be miserable. Because I have a really weird personality like that. I tell people all the time it's my character flaw. It's very hard for me not to be in control. And Flutter, that was my dad's side of the family with the very outdoorsy. Mom was not outdoorsy at all. I mean, she was when she was with my dad. She did some of the stuff with him, but my dad was a cross between a biker and a mountain man. Because he absolutely was a Harley Davidson riding biker who could go up to the mountain and survive with very little. I mean, he bought property in the mountains in California, built a house out of supplies that he recycled from tearing down someone's barn. Basically, people would pay him to tear down their barns and haul off all the scraps, and he was harvesting the scraps to build his house. So his house cost nothing. And he lived up there for years, and there no electricity, no indoor plumbing, lots of hunting, some fishing. We would get some Austin salmon. And so I learned the appreciation for the simple things in life, like a flushable toilet. Light switches were learning the luxury of a light switch. So yeah, so this thing has closed off again. And so now it has that edge, and that's, it's going to be green on the inside, but just that blackened edge. And these I won't burnish because of the type of leather this is. It won't handle it well. I will rub it down with a cloth later. I will get like a piece of denim and rub these edges, and it'll finish them off really nice. Let's put that over there. On to the next piece. And I think I hear a grandchild with tea. Yes. Yay. Awesome grandchild. So Flutter is the Biker Babe rapper, huh? Is that going to be a rap name? I'm just going to pour out some of this. I don't like leaving the paint open because the longer you leave it open, the more it dries out. And I actually am rather frugal when it comes to things like that. I want to be able to use all of the paint. All too often, I forget to do my edges until after I've gotten my project predominantly together, and then I'm like, oh crap. I should have done that to start with. Does this thing even tell me how long? Oh, I've been on that long? Oh my goodness. I guess I'm just going to do my edges tonight and then start sewing tomorrow. I didn't realize I'd been on so long. I'll be on like at odd hours tomorrow because it'll be earlier in the day because by this time tomorrow I would like to have this finished. So I can harass the guy about giving me money. Because I have the upper hand when I can say it's ready to ship if you just send me money. They're more likely to pay me when I send it to them, send them pictures. I will probably snag some snapshots from the video. And see, that's why I wanted to go live and have company, because it makes it go by faster. No, Stacy, that's why I require a half, if you're referring to what I'm doing, I require half of it up front so that I can I will not go out of pocket for the supplies. They have to pay half of the money up front so that I can order the supplies that are needed. You know, sometimes I still get half up front, even if I have the supplies on hand, because I have to be able to replenish the supplies after I've used them. But like in the instance of this one, I absolutely did not have this color leather that he wanted. And so the leather was going to have to be purchased. And I would rather it be him giving me the money to purchase the leather instead of me having to go out of pocket. And so he sent me the money. I transferred it to my bank account. And immediately ordered the hide. Oh, and if people that ship things, I'm gonna tell you something today. I was sending something. Kim Chess had ordered something small from me for her brother. It's a frog, and I went to ship it, And I have priority boxes I got from the post office because they're free. And to send it priority was going to be $10 and some change. So because I use Pirate Ship, I wanted to see if I put black plastic around the box, shipped it as a box in a bag, I could still send it priority for $4 cheaper. So if you're doing shipping, the using a black plastic bag around your item, wrapping it in it like a gift, actually does make a difference in the price. And this was the smallest, the smallest little priority box. Well, I did it as that the cheapest for that to get it to Kimberly was to ship it as a box in a bag, but it still ships it priority mail. So by taking the exact same box and wrapping it in black plastic to ship it, it's shipping exactly the same way for $4 cheaper because I wrapped it in black plastic. And I did not use $4 worth of black plastic. I actually recycled a piece of black plastic that was around this leather when it shipped to me. So the plastic was free. So for a couple of cents of tape to tape it on there, I saved $4 in shipping. And that is why when you get stuff from Robbie, it's often wrapped in black plastic. And Stacy, you're in Canada though, correct? Because this is US shipping. I don't know how I've not used Pirate Ship before outside of the US, obviously, because I live here in the US. But you can check on pirateship.com and see how it affects you. If you can, I don't know if you can do box in a bag. It's under rigid package. The option when you put the address in and it says, what are you shipping? And it's a drop down list. And if it's a rigid package, I think it's the first option is box in a bag. But it absolutely makes a difference. Because like I said, it shipped exactly the same way as it would have and saved me $4. Because I'm frugal and that's $4, man. And the black plastic wrapped around it actually adds a layer of security that if your package got rained on, the contents won't get wet because you have it wrapped securely in black plastic. Yeah, Lisa, today when I shipped the frog, well, I was setting the label up. It didn't get in the mailbox yet. But it was $4 cheaper to send a priority package wrapped in black plastic as a bag in a box, which still shipped priority mail, than what it was to ship it priority mail without the black wrapping. And I found that kind of crazy. Oh, thank you, Flutter. I have a bit of an obsession with jewelry. And I stack rings because I never can figure out which ones I want to wear. I want to wear them all. I still can't wear them all. I have some that I still can't wear. I was wearing them on my thumbs as well, but I cannot do leather work with rings on my thumbs because when I'm doing the cutting and everything and the pounding, it digs into my thumb and causes me trouble. But I have my labradorite rings are in another room, so I switch them out occasionally. I have to find someone that can do work on silversmith, because I have a turquoise ring that the band snapped in half, and I hate that. That one's dry, that one's not. Okay. Yeah, I have, this one flips open all the time. That one would be bad to wear fishing. But I have a thing with ring stones and everything. That one's I think it's a faux tanzanite. I don't think it's a real one. And I have that one that has, what's it picking up on now? That one has purple under enamel. Then that's just a silver one. And that's a silver one. There's one of my blue stones. And that one is a black stone. This one I got from Robbie's. It's silver, but I think it's just fake stones. This gold band is the only gold I'm wearing, and that is my father's wedding band. And this one I was wearing it on my thumb, but I can't. And then I have this one, which is a darker blue stone. And that one is a variety. It has black, blue, red, and white stone. And then I got a rock. Let me get some. Get the paint off my fingers before I pick up the next piece. I can't believe I've been on a little over 2 hours. Oh, hello, Delicate Disaster. That is the child of Tori. That Delicate Disaster is my daughter. That is Topher's mother. And Ollie's mother. Yes, most people call Delicate Disaster, they just say Deli. Now you're forever going to be called Topher's mama. You leave your sarcastic mother alone. And I wasn't going to use your legal name or the name I call you running around the house because that's not the name you use around. So the rest of the people in the room are people that go on Robbie's channel or on Tuli's channel. And Deli is a streamer on Twitch for gaming. So if you like to watch people play things like Call of Duty or various other games, let me know and I can drop you her channel. Deli is back in college, learning a new trade after being injured on the job and not being able to do the job that they were doing before. And Deli is going to go down with me to Florida, and we'll get to meet Lisa and Gabe and Robbie and Z and Scott and potentially John, depending on what his schedule is like. Oh wait, she should meet John because we should be there by Friday before they go live. It's the only way I can harass Robbie. I want to get there early enough that I can stop by Robbie's first so that we're bringing him a live animal, a live critter. And we want to make sure that I don't want to take it with me to where we'll be sleeping because that would be like weird to have an animal sitting out in the vehicle. I couldn't do that, so yeah. Bearded dragon. It is a bearded dragon. And so can't exactly leave it outside in a car because it needs to be kept warm. Uh-huh. Yeah, Robbie likes beardies are good for when they have smaller children come, because obviously you don't want to just necessarily hand anybody a snake. But they can absolutely hand a younger child a beardy, say, just stand there, be still, watch this. It'll crawl all over you. Lisa, you can fight Robbie over it. It's my daughter's and she just can't take care of it anymore. and a friend of hers was supposed to be taking care of it and isn't really taking care of it the way it needs to be. So the solution is to put it somewhere where it'll be taken care of. And this one, she loves to cuddle. She's a cuddle bug beardy. It's good to know I've had at least 11 people pop through here. More than I anticipated. Some people are probably popping through thinking, this is worse than watching paint dry. Yeah, my daughter wanted someplace that she knew the beardy would be appreciated and taken care of. And she asked me if I thought Robbie would want it. And I'm like, I don't know. So I texted Robbie and said, got a minute? And he's like, yeah. So I called him and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in a bearded dragon? He goes, oh, we love beardies. And I said, would you be interested in a bearded dragon? He says, why? And I said, and I told him the story. And he's like, yeah, bring it. I'm like, okay. Technically, at first, we were supposed to meet up when Nick was down there. And we know all the stuff that hit the fan when Nick was down in Florida. So between the hurricane that came through and everything and all the other stuff that they had to deal with, it just, didn't happen. We weren't able to meet up. Another piece done. Nice black edges. And my phone keeps going black, so I can't see what you're seeing until it actually gets to the YouTube. And so with that, the stitching will be there, and then they'll have just a glimpse of this black edge showing. What is it that this thing keeps focusing on? Is it everything that I have up here? Yeah, these just, and it's dry. I mean, I'm not using a lot of paint, so it actually is drying very fast. I'm missing, oh, there it is. I was gonna say I'm missing a piece. I remembered I did this long piece. That means I have one piece left. It's one of the things I do like about this hat now that I've actually made it, is it's only 5 pieces. Now, when my grandkids make me tea, they make me a big Bubba mug of tea because they think I need to drink a little tea. And they even leave the tea bag in for me. But I get this nice big Bubba mug of tea. It's like 32 ounces of tea. Is it high or low, Lisa? The fun part is going to be stopping my daughter from trying to kidnap your kittens. She has a tendency to do that. She showed up one day to my house with a cat. No, there's a cat outside of Lisa's house that has kittens, and they answer to hi and hello. Oh, my daughter showed up one day at the house when we lived in North Carolina, and she calls me outside, and I go outside, and she opens her jacket, and she has this cute little black fluff ball in her jacket. And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she goes, "I didn't know what else to do. It was at the intersection, and I almost ran it over. So I stopped and picked it up, and there was no mama cat around. So I didn't know what else to do. So I brought it home." I have 3 cats here and 4 dogs. We do not need any additional pets. And I think this camera thing is moving. But see if I can reposition this a little bit. Excuse me while I move you guys around. Um, I just realized that it was way off and you guys couldn't see most of what I was doing anymore. I need to better anchor my phone next time. But yeah, we don't need any extra pets here. But my daughter showed up one day. Like I was saying, she showed up and she called me outside and she said that she didn't know what to do because she almost ran over this kitten, cute little black fluff ball. So I took the black fluff ball into the house to introduce it to Jeff and to tell him what was going on. And he goes, "Well, what are you going to do?" And I said, "We're going to take it to the no kill shelter tomorrow." He's like, "Okay." So I set up a little box for it, um, a large box to contain it, and put a little litter box in there and some food and some drink and some bedding and stuff. And the next day, he told her, and he goes, "I think you need to take Fluffy Butt to the vet if you're going to keep it." And she wound up keeping the cat until she realized that it was kind of a psycho cat. But she kept him for a while, and he turned out to be somewhat of a psycho cat, so she had to get rid of him. Yeah, this is one of the things that took me a long time to do on the chess set because I had to do this to each and every one of those little chess pieces. The polish is actually purple. It's a sparkly purple. And I guess tomorrow I'll get up early. My grandson wants me to take him over to Goodwill to apply for a job. He wants to apply for his first job because he found out they make over minimum wage there. And it's not that far, so it's not going to be that big of an inconvenience for someone to take him to work if he gets a job there. And the fact that at 17 he actually wants to work. He said he wants to work so he can give me money to pay his share of the bills, which I think is very upstanding for him at 17. Um, he he wants to have say in some of the food we get. Like if he might say, "I would like to have steak for dinner," and he's going to be able to provide the meats. Then he knows that he won't be told no. So he wants to be able to have some input on that. So he wants to get a job so he can have that kind of input. I admire him for wanting to start working and be a hard worker and for wanting to take on responsibilities. We've tried to instill that. I mean, his goal in life, because he does have ADHD and autism, and he grew up with learning difficulties. So his goal in life is to be able to get a job to support himself, to be independent, an independent person, um, however that looks like. And I give him props for that. Because it's like just kind of that's another way I grew up is if you're capable, then you should. You should realize that you're blessed that you're capable and do it because not everybody is. And that comes from growing up with my cousin in a wheelchair from polio. And I've tried to instill the work values on my grandkids. My grandkids and my daughter has lived with me with the kids more than what they've lived outside of the house away from me. Um, just because life is life. And so it's kind of a co-parenting thing that because their fathers are not involved. So my husband Jeff is the male influence in their life. And I'm just like another mother kind of thing. I'm their grandmother, but I take on that mothering role as well in trying to teach them skills. Classroom, you know, how to do your own laundry, teaching them cooking. We had etouffee the other day, and Ollie cooked it. I sat in the kitchen and stirred the pot. Ollie had made it with me before, and I told Ollie, I said, "Well, you've made it, so you can make it now." And Ollie didn't think they could, and they're like, "I'm not ready for that to do it on my own." I said, "Okay." So I went in there and I just kept going, "Okay, what's next? What's next? Follow the recipe. What's next?" Because I didn't have a recipe. And when the cookbook for Robbie was coming about, it was like, oh, you should put your etouffee recipe in there. And it's like, yeah, it's in my head. How can I get it out? And so we made etouffee and came up with the recipe. And then Ollie made etouffee another time from the recipe to confirm that the recipe works and produces a good dish. And so it was like, well, you've made it with the recipe, you know how to do it. Yeah. I am actually not going to look at Lisa's kittens because I love animals. And I am not bringing Lisa's kittens home. They are Lisa's kittens. They are there with the intent to keep mice out of Lisa's house by eating them before they get in the house. That's their job in life. They are to live outside and eat all the mice before they get into Lisa's house. We actually have some cats here. We have a cat lady. We used to have a cat lady. And she would have her garage door propped open, and she had 15 to 20 cats that were in and out of her garage throughout the day. And the other day, we noticed another cat around here, little kitten, and my daughter was like, Mom, it's so cute. I'm like, no. But Mom, it's no. But Mom, no. It's like repeating, no, no, no. Yeah, see, that's the problem, Floater, because if I brought one, I would have to take both of them since they're twins. And yeah, that won't work. And I have finished the edges on all 5 pieces. So now I have this piece. Take that little test scrap out of the way. And there's that piece. That piece. And there's this piece. Which this actually goes inside the hat. And I don't know if I'm going to use that or if I'm going to change it out for something else. And there's this piece. And that's the black will be on the underside of the brim. So the brim will sit just like this. So when you see the top of his head, you'll see this part. Or when you look up from under his face, you'll see the black, but everywhere else it'll be that. And that's where the black trim will come in as well. And looking all good. Because this piece will go on here. It'll get sewn in. Get sewn in this way and then flipped over. And then the rest of the hat will get connected to that. But I think that's going to be a tomorrow task because it is 2:20 in the morning. Oh, whoever brings them in the house has to clean the litter boxes. That's fair. You can always put a little kitty door in your garage so that they can come in and out of the garage door. And you will never have mice in your garage. Gabe is babe. See, I knew that because that's what Lisa calls him. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. That gator today was easy for Robbie to catch. I mean, they pulled up, get out of the van, grab the pole, turn around, and there's the gator just hanging out. There was no chasing. Z walked over there and just slipped the noose over his head and pulled it. And then Robbie's like, let it roll, let it roll. And the gator did its little rolling around to tire it out. And then Robbie jumped the gator. I think he totally missed my comment about the old man still got it. He can still jump the gator. I think some of the automatic litter boxes are cheaper than that. That hat's going to look good. Yep. With that black thread on there. Scott's has black thread on it too. So I already know it's going to look good. The green with the black stitching. I already know that will look good because that's how Scott's is. Yep. Let me see if I post that link. What is it going to look like when you look at it? That'll work. Kimberly, that frog is already wrapped in paper, in a box, wrapped in plastic with your label sitting on it. That link is to the cap that I made for Scott, and you can see the black stitching and black edges on that one as well. So it's going to look good. No, I don't want to let finished product be sitting here waiting. Oh, you're talking about the kitten being like Kendra. Prissy. So are you going to name the Hi Kendra is going to be the cat's name? Or is it Hello Kendra? Well, it's going out Monday. They're picking it up Monday because I've already scheduled the pickup. They're picking the frog up on Monday. And it is going out priority. Wait a minute. What is Monica talking about? There's a litter box that links to your toilet. Oh my gosh. I would love that. I'm going to have to investigate that, Monica, because 3 cats, lots of poop. I have not looked. I saw the thing about how to train cats to use the toilet because you can do that. But I just didn't want to. Oh, so you're saying I have a brand new email. I didn't see a brand new email, Kimberly. Are you sure you hit the send button? Or which email did you send it to? Yeah, except I don't see the email. Refresh. Kimberly, I do not have an email from you. The last email I have from you is you giving me your address. If he's playing music so loud that you can actually hear it at your house, Lisa, you should be calling the law and putting in an anonymous noise complaint about that. Most places, the noise ordinance is like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, everything has to be quiet, isn't it? When creepers are creepy, you just have to do everything to irritate them back. It's fair. You're further than 50 feet from him, so it would be considered as disturbing the peace. I'm guessing that's what it is. Let me see. Quiet hours at 10 p.m. until 1 hour before daybreak. Yeah, I'm reading an article on it now, and someone referred to the villages as a retirement community. Do the Crayola voice to call. They have caller ID now. And the reality is, he's probably doing it just to irritate you anyway. He probably checked and saw that you're in the garage because he's not just a creeper, he's a jerk, remember? Hmm. Well, I hope someone calls on him. Even if it doesn't matter if anyone calls on him, he's going to say it's you. Because you know how much he loves you. Yeah. Well, it is. It is sometime. I don't. Oh, I have been on 2 hours and 50 minutes, almost 3 hours. I guess I'll just stay on another 10 minutes. If anyone has any questions about what I was working on tonight, you can ask questions because I don't mind answering questions. Yes, you do, Lisa. And Lisa, I cannot promise. I cannot promise I will be nice while I'm there if he starts yelling at me. If he yells at me, he might not like the reaction. And if he messes with my vehicle, he's really not going to like the reaction. Because I'll tell him straight up, dude, I don't know who the hell you think you are or who you are. Well, he starts yelling and screaming and acting a fool, I'll tell him he's acting a fool. I have no problem with that. One of my favorite things to say is like, excuse me, are you 12?" And yes, I do this with my projects. I lay them out like this and I look over them and make sure I like everything before I get started. Think I'm gonna like it. And the leather feels really good, so I don't think I have to condition it before I get started. It's not dry or anything. It's really a nice flexible leather. It's gonna work really well. It's funny because I see myself on my phone when I'm doing things, and then I look over to the computer and it's delayed, but I have no sound on the computer, so it's kind of really weird, that delay. It's something I'll have to get used to. Yeah, I knew that Kim had met him, and obviously Rhonda has. Well, when you fry your brains, it's kinda hard to be, a real adult. Flutter, if you're going out in weather, you need to drive like a grandma. Like a grandma that knows how to drive on snow and ice. Not trying to be a speedy demon or anything like that. And who are you gonna be contacting throughout the night to make sure that we know you're okay? Make sure your phone's charged up. Flutter's gonna take off, and then Flutter's gonna get a phone call that says, "Oh, we stopped and we're safe. It got too ugly, so we decided not to take the trip yet. We're in a hotel room." Oh yeah, this is gonna look good. Yep. I'll be brushing this thing the whole time I'm making it until I get finished with it. And then I'll use tape like a lint roller to make sure all the little bits are off of it and it's all nice and pretty and clean. Flutter, were they driving from where you are to go home, or were they driving from someplace to where you are? Because I'm confused. Okay, Kimberly. And like I said, they'll pick up your package on Monday, and it should be to you before the end of the week. So good night. Okay, so I'm guessing we already checked with where they started from. Yeah, Flutter's throwing the guilt trip on them about phones off and not calling and making that poor girl worry all night about them. Yeah. Yeah, I have to say a prayer when I go to bed. Drop us an email or something because I have my phone with me, so I'll get emails. Flutter, you sound like my daughter. Jeff and I went somewhere. I can't even remember where it was. It might have been one of the trips down to Florida. And we didn't text to say, we made it safe. And when she finally got in touch with us, it was like, it would have been nice to know that you were safe instead of me worrying about if you made it safe. And got the big lecture about it. Good night, Lisa. Sleep well. I have been on for 3 hours, so I should probably get off here as well and get some sleep. It is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, everyone who popped in and watched me pound holes and cut out leather and put the edging on the leather. Sunday, tomorrow, which is technically today, but after I get some sleep and wake back up, then I will sometime in there go live again and start some stitching in putting this baby together. I don't think I'll stay on the entire time I sew on it, because that would be me being on the entire day. Because it'll be 6 to 8 hours of stitching to do it. But do you want to watch the beginning part of the stitching or the ending part of the stitching? I actually might go live for a little while when I work on the beginning of it and then stop, and then me work on it some more and then come back on before I finish it, so that anyone that wants to watch me finish it can watch me finish it. Definitely keep us posted on your parents' Flutter. I understand what it's like to worry. I'm a worrier. And when my daughter goes places, she knows, she has to keep in touch with me or else. We have an understanding of that. And, it's like people will make a comment about, yeah, but she's a grown adult. Why do you have to check in with your mom? You're a grown adult. And she's like, because I live in her house and it's respect. I'm her daughter. She worries about me. The least I can do is let her know I'm safe. So, yeah. So, Monica wants me to go on and stay on for 6 to 8 hours tomorrow. Got it. I do have to take a break in there sometime, because I don't think people want to sit here and watch me eating. Well, you wouldn't be watching me eat, but you would see the food sitting here, because unless I go upstairs, that's where it would be. So, but I am going to get off here. I appreciate everybody stopping in and occupying my time. It was good. I appreciate the fact that people wanted to watch me work on this stuff. So I guess I'll be doing it more often. Good night, everybody. Sleep well, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow when I come back on. I'm going to go get a few hours of sleep. Flutter, take care of yourself and don't stress too much, please. And if you need anything, send me some emails, and I will get with you as soon as I hear my phone go off and answer and get to you. Good night, everybody.